Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday to you. We got about 18 people in here. Gonna wait till maybe one more minute here. I'll take attendance as we're doing this so we don't waste time. And got a couple different things to do today. It's got a fairly busy class period, so I need you guys to stay with me. Once we get started, please. Just a reminder, if you have the capability to please have your video on when you join class so that I know you're here. All right, doesn't appear that we're going to have many more, at least yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, first off, this is 9/11/2020, 19 years ago to this day. I can vividly remember sitting in, ironically enough, world history class freshman year, and my principal coming on the loudspeaker and saying there was a terrorist attack, and everybody was going to go home immediately. Now, what I want to do to start class is just watch this kind of a quick hitter video, but I feel like since you weren't born, obviously, on this day, 19 years ago, it's very important just to see a couple minutes on it and just reflect, okay? I have a personal connection to it. I'm going to raise my computer a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it up by the red metals if you look. But that's a picture of the World Trade Towers. I was in the World Trade Towers exactly 1 week before they were attacked. And our hotel we were staying at in New York, it was Labor Day weekend, was literally attached to the World Trade Towers and was destroyed on 9/11. So again, a quick video, and then we'll move on. I'm not even asking you guys to write anything down. All I want you to do is literally just watch, okay? So I would appreciate it, again, if you put your phone down and actually look like you're looking at the screen and listen. Thanks. If we have a question after this or a short discussion, that's fine. If not, you probably have already heard it before. It's okay.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers.
Another one just hit the building. Wow.
There are no words.
It appears that something hit the Pentagon on the outside of the 5th corridor.
We have a report now that a large plane crashed this morning north of the Somerset County Airport, which is in western Pennsylvania.
It all started at 8:45 on a clear Tuesday morning. We had a live camera up on what looked like a smoking slash across one of the World Trade Center towers. A passenger plane had flown into it, and I remember some of us here at CNN thinking this was some sort of freak event. Then a second plane flew into the other tower. That was at 9:03 a.m., and at that point there was this deepening dread in everyone. Something was wrong in a way we'd never seen before. Airports, bridges, tunnels in New York and New Jersey shut down. Within 30 minutes, President George W. Bush said we were under an apparent terrorist attack. And minutes after that, every airport in the country was closed. That had never happened before. It wasn't over, though. At 9:43 a.m., a third passenger jet crashed into the Pentagon. Dark smoke rolled up from that part of that huge building. All eyes and many cameras were on that and the two burning towers in New York. And as all of us watched at 10:05, one of those towers gave way where it was smoking, the top part crushing down on the rest of it and sending up debris in boiling gray clouds. 5 minutes later, part of the Pentagon collapsed and a fourth hijacked jet crashed in a rural part of Pennsylvania. The White House, the United Nations, the state and justice departments, the World Bank, all evacuated. America-bound Atlantic flights were rerouted to Canada, and the second Trade Center tower came down at 10:28. So many closings, evacuations, shutdowns. Except for emergency response teams, the heroes of 9/11, the country virtually stopped what it was doing and gathered around TV screens. The president appeared just after 1 p.m. and asked Americans to pray, and there wasn't much else we could do. The destruction was more or less done around 10:30. It was less than 2 hours from the first crash, but the change it inflicted was immeasurable. More Americans were killed on September 11, 2001 than on the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. And when President Bush addressed the nation that night at 8:30, his tone was one of sympathy, resolve, and warning to anyone who'd planned or supported the attacks.
We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them.
In the difficult days that followed, we learned that the Al-Qaeda terrorist group led by Osama bin Laden was responsible for all of this. And America's attention and anger turned to Afghanistan, whose Taliban leaders were giving Al-Qaeda a safe place to live and operate. World-changing events that occurred 19 years ago today. I'm Carl Azuz for CNN 10. The attacks of September 11, 2001 were the worst terrorist attacks ever made on American soil. They were physically carried out by 19 Al-Qaeda terrorists who hijacked the 4 planes. 2,977 people were killed. That includes hundreds of firefighters, police officers, and Port Authority officers who lost their lives trying to save others. In remembrance of the victims, Patriot Day was established. President George W. Bush signed it into law a few months after the attacks. No members of the Senate or the House of Representatives voted against that bill. And every year since, Patriot Day has been a time when memorials, ceremonies, and church services have been held in honor of those who were killed on September 11th. This Friday, Republican President Donald Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden are both scheduled to attend a memorial event in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That's where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in 2001. Ceremonies are also scheduled to take place at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and at the National September 11th Memorial and Museum in New York City, though these remembrance events are going to be scaled back this year because of coronavirus concerns.
Oops, all right, pressed the wrong button. All right, just briefly, I'm sure you guys have heard of this before. 2,996 or 97 people died. I was just looking up statistics from Indiana. 3,401 people have died from the coronavirus in the state of Indiana. Since last March when we had our first death. So that number doesn't sound quite as high anymore. And with all of the racial injustice and different police brutality that we've seen recently, I'd say for ever in the history of our country, it doesn't seem that shocking, but a terrorist attack in the Pentagon where our military is kept, in New York City, which seemed invincible, and the hijacking of planes and how you feel safe on planes was drastically altered. In particular, that picture I tried showing you, which I can't really get to my computer to, we took that when we were out on Ellis Island from out on a boat. And then we did a fundraiser where we had a Photoshop donate all of the pictures, and we ended up raising about $10,000 for the firefighters in New York City. And then the following year, September 11, 2012, I I was able to go with my parents to New York and actually donate that $10,000 to the victims of the families who basically the police station next to the World Trade Center lost every single firefighter that was in the station. So yeah, there's a little personal connection to it. All right. Moving on. I had a couple people ask questions about what we need to get done today. So I've made a little bit of an agenda for you on a Word document. All right. So we're going to start off with, I need to actually share my screen. That would help. Okay. Here we go. 9/11/2020. So first thing we need to do is take a Canvas test that's open note, basically open intro. You know, you can use what you have at your disposal. Some of you use Google to do your intros. It's really obvious. Like, don't do that. All this stuff should be pretty straightforward to you. Then once you're done with that Canvas quiz, which is right underneath the module, I'll show you in a second. You need to upload your Buddha video. If you didn't watch it, you need to watch that quickly after you're done with your quiz and upload those questions on Canvas. Has anybody in the class actually watched the video yet? I had about 20-some submissions. If they have, can somebody tell me at least one interesting thing they learned about the life of the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama?
He married his cousin and had a child with her.
All right, so he married his cousin, and at that point in time, that would have been customary because people would have lived in really large family groups, had a lot of kids. But yeah, anything else you guys thought was interesting? Do you resonate with him, his message? Do you guys find that to be interesting? Do you think that the world suffers? I mean, if people suffer. I mean, these are all questions that he brought up that makes you think about your own life and what's your purpose of being here on this earth. I don't know. If that video didn't cause you to think at all, I would rewatch it and try to do it in a separate space where you can actually try to understand what the point was. All right. Once you're done with that, I'm going to show you here on Canvas where your current event topics are, okay, and what you need to do with that. So I'm going to go back right here and find my Canvas. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so all of the three things I just showed you under modules. Okay, week 7, the story of the Buddha. If you didn't do this yesterday, okay, this is what you need to do after your quiz. There's 21 submissions now. It's not a ton. Okay, this quiz number 6 says finished by the end of class today. It is 10 questions. You can use your intros, warm-ups, and other activities. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I better change that. All right. And then the last thing then, if you go back to modules, this is going to look a little weird. So I need you guys to, hopefully you're still with me. Pay attention to this. Come on. Work. Okay, good. The last thing then is current event topics 2020, picking class 914. So over the weekend, I'm not going to collect this until after class on Monday, but you need to find 3 current event topics that you would like to present to the class, okay? Just a reminder, you're going to need to write a paper, find videos, make a presentation, and create discussion questions for your topic. So not everyone's going to get their first choice, so you want to have at least 3 ideas, okay? Make sure you bring them to class with you on Monday. All right, so that is under the current events module, as I'm trying to keep that separate. So Monday, we're going to be picking our topics so that when we get back from fall break, we can start presenting for those people who end up going early. Okay, that's under current events. The other two things, Story of the Buddha and quiz right here, are on week number 7. All right, I'm going to let you guys get to work. I'll be right here. If you have a question, ask away. If not, I'm going to go ahead and leave my screen share on here so you know what you need to do. Okay, get to work, guys. Ask questions as you need to in the chat function, or you can unmute if it's not about a quiz question. Okay, do it in this order. Good luck. Go. And have a good weekend too. Once you get done with your quiz, you can log off also and do the stuff on your own.
Have a good weekend, Mr. B.
You too. Thanks a lot.